Hello, hello, everyone. How are we doing
Hello.
today?
Good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm
Hello.
doing well. Hey, Mr. Lewis, how are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Always on the move, on the road, coming from West Virginia, coming from the track.
Okay, busy,
Going out
busy bee.
Power Fest Motorsports.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. So, thank you for joining us, everyone. So, I am Laquita Chansey. I'm the founder of Smaltimore Homes. We build micro shelters and tiny homes for people experiencing homelessness, and we do community outreach here in Baltimore. So, we have Coach Duncan. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us about what you have going on in the community?
Yes, hi, good day. My name is Coach Duncan. I'm the director of STAND Mentorship. That's an acronym for Stepping Towards a New Destiny. We just run mentorship programs throughout Baltimore, Howard County, and Baltimore County as well. And so far, we're just planning for our annual Father's Son basketball game that will be taking place at the Robert T. Marshall Recreation Center on Pennsylvania Avenue next week, June the 18th at 3 p.m.
Awesome. And so, if people wanted to get involved with your Father's Day event or some events that you have going on in the future, how would they find you? How would they get in touch with you?
Sure, they can reach out to me. Phone number 443-473-3605. And they can also look us up at on Instagram _ Stand Mentorship.
Okay, Coach Duncan, we're having some trouble. Your audio is going in and out. I wasn't sure if it was just me or not. Lewis, how's your connection?
It sounded like it was going out on my end too.
Okay. Okay. Do you
Okay,
want
let me
to
try one.
go ahead?
Let me see if I can try something.
Okay. In the meantime, Mr. Lewis, what's going
Yes,
on with Power
man.
Fest? What you got going on with your organization?
So with Power Fest, I mean, the biggest focus right now is empowering Queens and the Power Fest Motorsports. Of course, most people who have maybe tuned in the past knows that Power Fest is supposed to be a festival,
Yep.
but because of COVID, we were supposed to get 20 to 30,000 people on the field, so that wasn't happening. So now we're just going out into the community, and one of the things we're doing is, we've been having an issue with the dirt bikes, the illegal dirt bikes on the city streets.
Right.
So we are creating a stream for these young men and women to be able to race and even start a career racing professionally. And actually, right now in West Virginia, I stopped at the side of the road because we're in the mountains. I didn't want to lose connection. But giving the opportunity for some young people to get out there on the track and race professionally. So now I'm heading back to Baltimore, but we just want to give that opportunity.
Yeah, no, that is really cool. I have, dirt bike culture is really popular here in Baltimore, as you know. And I have a bunch of friends who are community organizers that are interested or already involved in the motorsport. So next month, when we have that discussion again, I'll be sure to bring them in. You may know Rashad Stanton. He does some, yeah. See,
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, I'll try to get him to come on the show. I know he's
That'd be
doing
great.
stuff with dirt bike culture. So Coach Duncan, it looks like you're back. Let's do a sound check. What's going on with you now?
Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I've plugged in the earphones. Hopefully that's a lot better.
It is a lot better. So let's get your plug one more time. So you have a Father's Day event. Tell us about that one more time.
Yes, this is the 4th year we have done it. The whole mission behind it, I'm glad to be on here with my big brother Lewis as well from Power Fest. But the whole mission behind this is to get mentors into Baltimore City schools. I'm a current Baltimore City school teacher. And one of the things with working with all of these young men, we lack father figures. We lack mentors. We lack role models, individuals that can come in, touch these kids and work with them. The more men we get into the school, one of the things that I say won't solve all of our issues, but there are some issues that it can solve by having men in the school. So the whole goal behind this was to get men to come together with young boys that don't have fathers. Their fathers are incarcerated. Fathers maybe dad or fathers that just want to build a bond, a stronger bond with their sons, like I do. So the goal was just to bring them together. We have fun. We play against our sons. Most of the times we win. Last year, I think the boys won by about two points or something like that. And they're young kids. The kids are normally between the ages of 10 and 15. It's just a day of bonding, father-son bonding, where boys feel like, hey, today I have a father figure. My father's gone. He's not here. But I have a father figure in my life on today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know if your sound is going out again. It was really good at the beginning, and then toward the end, it got a little shaky, but I could still hear you. So that's really good about the Father's Day event and getting mentors involved and community organizers. So if there is a gentleman who is interested in being a mentor, but he doesn't have a son, is he still able to participate in these types of events? And how does that work?
Yes. There is no pre-registration. Tell them come out. Everyone just come out that day. Even if you don't want to play in the basketball game, tell them come out that day. Just show support. We want more men than boys. If we can get 500 men, let's get 500 men. If we get 200 boys, we want more men than boys. So show up June 18th, 3 p.m., 1201 Pennsylvania Avenue. That is the Robert C. Marshall Rec. Come on out and just enjoy a good time. Let these boys know that they are supported.
Okay, so just to repeat, we want 500 men to show up
yes.
on June 18th at 1201 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is the Robert C. Mitchell?
Robert C. Marshall.
Robert C. Marshall Rec Center. And that is from
Correct.
what time?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
We start at
500
3 p.m.
show up. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that. And that's a Father's Day basketball event. So that's really cool. So that's in what, 2 weekends?
Yeah, that's actually next week Friday. Correct. 2 weekends. That is on June 18th, next week Friday. And
then June 19th is Juneteenth, y'all. So we get to celebrate Juneteenth the very next day as well. Do your Googles if you're not familiar with Juneteenth. So I'm not sure if Lewis disappeared. So that's really cool. And what's the name of the organization again, Coach Duncan?
Stepping Towards a New Destiny. That is an acronym for STAN. And we can be found at stanmentorship.org on the web. And we're in partnership with all of our brothers from around the city, another organization called We Our Us. We are partnering with them on this event that they're going to come out as well and help us out with this event.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So do you typically work on just the west side of Baltimore, or are you doing things all around Baltimore?
No, we actually work all around Baltimore. I'm not sure if you've heard of the program We Are Us, but they do weekly community walks where they hand out a lot of resources in East Baltimore. There's a lot of resources that are taking place down in Cherry Hill with the Rich program. They tend to be all around the city on Monday nights, on Saturday mornings. And we just engage the community with jobs, resources, drug treatment programs, whatever the community may need. There's actually another event that I don't have all of the details for, where we will be at Gilmore Homes on this coming Saturday, where we will be over there giving out resources as well.
Okay, and that'll be this Saturday, also at 1201 Pennsylvania Avenue?
No, that's actually at Gilmore Homes. And that starts at 12 p.m.
I was about to say 12 a.m.
No, that's bedtime.
Listen, I've seen stranger things happen. It is what it is. So that's cool. So that's really good. So East Baltimore, Monday nights, and you guys are giving out resources. You have a basketball game coming up for Father's Day. And then you mentioned something on Saturday.
Yes, that's at Gilmore Homes this Saturday, 12 p.m. we'll have resource at Gilmore Homes as well.
That is awesome. And then everything is just show up. Is anything
correct? Just show up. Just
okay.
show up. We really want them to come out. The Father's Day, again, last year, we started with 75 people the first year. The second year, we had 150. Last year, we actually had 400 people participate in this game. You know, we had, back at that point, it was Jack Young. He was the mayor. We had Brandon Scott, who was the city council president at the time. We expect him to come out as well. We expected Nick Mosby to be there, and we have reached out to several other people as well to see who can come out to support this event.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. So we need everybody to just show up and show out. And
yes, bring your kids.
To our boys, bring the kids. We need 500 men to show up. So you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and y'all all come with your mask on, socially distanced, all ready to go.
Yes.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Awesome. And so you all have your Father's Day event. Do you typically do, I know you said you do things on the weekends, Mondays. Is there anything that volunteers can do to help you to prepare for this event? Or do you just want people to show up?
Well, they can reach out to me again. They can reach out to us on standmentorship.org. That is over the web. Also _Stand Mentorship on IG. If there's any resources that they have, if they want to come set up a table and say, hey, we have this mentoring program that we want the kids to get into, any football teams want to bring out their kids for that day, any basketball teams want to bring out their kids for that day and participate, anybody can show up. Any resource that you feel like that community can use, come on out, bring it with you. Even if you don't get in contact with us before and you decide that Friday night, hey, say, hey, I got some kits, any kind of, hygiene kits, and we want to bring them and give them out. Go, feel free, bring them out. We also have Be More Community Foods that's coming out that day that has decided to bring boxes of food to donate as well. So again, we're just looking for anybody to just come on out with resources to say, listen, we're going to impact this community. We're going to continue to reach out to this community, touch those that's in this community. And if they want us to partner with them as well to bring activities into their community, reach out, let us know. We are here for each other.
I think that's pretty awesome. So Dayson just joined us, and he works with Creative Influence as well as the Rexon Parks, Cecil Park, Rexon Park, something like that. I always get the name mixed up. But Dayson, Coach Duncan was telling us about an event that he is hosting June 18th. We need 500 men to show up for our boys for Father's Day. But they have resources. They have, it'll be a basketball game as entertainment and other resources. But I think it'll be really cool to think about how, we could possibly find resources for the kids for the summer camp or some sort of, Cecil Park Recreation Center or some sort of day of, activity with you all. So I think that's something worth discussion or, thinking about for the future. Do you guys have plans for the summer, Coach Duncan?
For the summer, we just plan to just run our regular mentorship program, which again, we'll be partnering with Robert C. Marshall Rec. If there's anyone in that community that wants to put their kids in camp, they can just come down to Robert C. Marshall Recreation Center and sign up. And we'll just be partnering with them again, doing mentorship in that community, which just include taking them on trips every week. Just exposing them to different environments. We take them out of town. We've been to Philly. We've been to New Jersey. We've been to Delaware just to expose the kids to different atmospheres.
Yeah, that's really cool. Exposure and access is so important just for people to recognize the opportunities that are out there.
So what are the age ranges for that camp?
The age range of that camp goes all the way up to 16, I believe it is. I can confirm that. I think it goes all the way up to 16, but I can confirm with them exactly what it goes up to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know the rec center, they're full, right? But what age group are you all working with this summer, Dayson? Do you know?
From 6 to 16, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so age group. So this the event for Father's Day, is it just for boys or all children?
Just for boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you said, but I wanted to just make sure I wasn't making stuff up. Go ahead, Dayson.
So I missed the event, the details of the event. So can you give me like a little snippet of what it's about, where it's going to be at, how can people participate?
Oh, sure. The event is being held at 1201 Pennsylvania Avenue. That is the Robert C. Marshall Rack. And it is on June 18th, next week, Friday. The game starts at 3 o'clock. We'll have games inside and outside. We have moon bounce. We have food giveaway. We have several different resources. This is our first year. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Didi, Coach Didi. He was down. He passed. Yeah, Coach Didi actually ran that recreation center for several years, and he transitioned last year. So one of the things that we will be doing as well is honoring him. His family is actually going to be there, and they're going to receive a plaque on his behalf. We're going to honor him. He has served that community for years. So again, the whole goal of this is to just bring boys together with men. We want boys to feel like they are being supported. We have so many young men are hurting and they're growing up hurt. And because of that, we are seeing it is contributing to a lot of the violence that we are seeing in the community. So the goal is not just for these men to come out on this day, but that they get involved in the school system. They start to show up. They build relationship with their kids as well. I've had a father that was there last year that said, hey, he just came home for 10 years. And News Channel 2 actually interviewed him, and it was the coolest thing. He said, I just came home. I've been locked up for 10 years. So it's a pleasure to be out here with my father, with his son. And then we had another kid that Channel 2 also interviewed him that said, hey, Dad, if you're watching, I hope you come home soon. He wants his father run up and down the court with him. But at that day, guess what? He felt supported by all of the other men that was there. So even though that we do this game, we want this something that the city will pick up. Everybody around the city will start to do father-son basketball games, father-son football games, father-son flag football games. Even if it's not even their boys, my two boys are going to be there. My boys are going to be there. But they're also other kids that I'm going to have there with me. So I'm going to have about 10 boys that I'm supporting on that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a question just popped up too.
Yep. Go ahead, Dayson.
I think it said, what do mothers say or think about what you guys are doing?
All right. There are two answers about what they're saying. The first one, excuse me for 1 second. The first one that they're saying, well, what about us? When are you going to do something for us? All of them wants to know what we're doing for them. That's the first thing. But they're in awe of this. They come out and they watch. Again, this is an event for the fathers and the sons. But we're not saying moms don't come. We need you all there as well, because again, there's so many resources. So we need the mothers there as well. And they sit in, they watch, they cheer us on. When a kid crosses his father up and scoring his father, the moms are cheering him on and we're laughing. It's just a fun day where everybody is bonding and having a lot of fun. But again, the moms are feeling supported because again, you have a mom raising a boy that don't know how to do that. She doesn't know how to raise this young boy. So she feels supported on that day as well. She's happy for it.
That's really cool. And I guess one of the things I didn't realize is that the girls could come and, take part in the resources as well. They just wouldn't be participating in the game itself. So there's probably tons for everybody to do.
Yes. Again, there'll be snowballs, there'll be cotton candy, there'll be the moon bounce for the kids, there'll be the food boxes that they can get on that day as well. So again, all is welcome. But again, just we don't want anyone to feel because it's a father-son basketball game that the women or the girls are not welcome. They're welcome, but the game are for the fathers and the sons.
And for maybe some kids that want to come that are not in contact with their father or not coming with their father, is that like a place for those people as well?
Yes, we want them to come. Those are the ones that we're trying to reach. Again, we had last year he was councilman at the time, Councilman Pickett. He came with his kids and he also supported other kids. We had Brandon Scott come out. We had Sergeant Davis from the police department come out as well. All of these guys that was there were not there with their kids only, but they supported other kids that was there. So there was no kid that didn't feel supported on that day. Everybody was supported. So again, they saw if any kid that you have and you want to bring them along, bring them. They will have somebody there for them on that day.
Okay.
I love that. I love that. And you said this is your third year doing this particular event or fourth?
No, this is our fourth year. So every year we have grown. Last year we had 400 people. And this was actually 2 weeks before. We did it in March as a March Madness. This is our first year doing it on a Father's Day weekend. So I think that we're going to continue doing it on Father's Day weekend. But 2 weeks before COVID, we had other schools that wanted to do it as well, that we was going to work with them. But again, last year we had 400 people. So this year we're shooting for 500.
So how do you guys advertise this? Do you advertise it?
Yes, we advertise on social media. And again, I can get your phone number before you get off of your social media page. Okay. You search me on Instagram at Coach Duncan. You will see my name, or my full name on Facebook, Tagana Duncan. And I can send you the flyer. I can give you my number. We can send you the flyer. But it's advertised on several social media platforms.
Cool.
So one of the questions from the crowd is, how difficult is it for incarcerated fathers? I think I got that question. Is that what it looked like it said, guys?
Yeah. How difficult it is parenting for incarcerated fathers?
There are challenges from the ones that I work with. Again, my program, Stand Mentorship, works with 80% of fatherless children, whether incarcerated, whether deceased, whether just absent. 80% of them. But there are fathers that are still try to be involved in their children's life from prison. But one of the things is that they face a lot of challenges because again, that kid is feeling rejected. You're trying to be involved as a father, but you're dealing with a child that is feeling rejected because you're not there. They're feeling rejected, neglected because you're not there. And then what we see as well, it is not just difficult for that father that's incarcerated, but it's also difficult for that mother that's trying to raise that young boy. Because what happens a lot of times, that child blames the mom for the father not being there. And that child is walking around mad and upset because, well, why did you asking mom, why didn't you do something different? What did you do? Why isn't he here? Whether he's not incarcerated, but he's just not present, they're blaming mom because they feel like mom is the reason why daddy is not there. So there's a lot of challenges on both sides.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. I know that a lot of kids have resentment toward their elders when they're in, particular situations and they feel hopeless because it's like the adults around me should be giving me the support that I think I need and the support that I want when that's not always available. So that's a great point that the kids sometimes blame the other parent. So another question we have is, any mental health services or therapy available for, for these different types of situations that we have to navigate? Parents who are incarcerated, things of that nature.
Yeah, there's several programs around Baltimore City that actually deals with a lot of mental health services. There is one in particular that I'm more familiar with, and that is Keys Development. They are very much involved in a lot of schools. They do a lot of different activities with kids. I've actually partnered with them several years ago, and I've watched a lot of the work that they have done, and they're very instrumental in a lot of the work that they're doing in schools and with therapy concerning these kids. So there's also a lot of resources that some of the parents, if they can just access the school, reach out to the school, find out what resources the school have to support them as well. There's a lot of resources that the schools offer.
And are you working with any school in particular or any particular community organizer? Or I guess they're, I can't remember what they're called, but the schools have the community liaisons. Are you partnered with any type of organization in that way?
One of them that I have worked with to, or one that have reached out to work with me in particular is Promise Heights. Their program that I believe that is funded by University of Maryland. I have worked with them. That's probably one of the main programs that we see that also do a lot of work for the youth. But there's a lot of programs around it, not just for the boys, even for the girls. There's another one called Empowering Minds of Maryland Youth. Nicole Taylor, she works with young women. There are tons of programs that I can name, that works with them. But Promise Heights, that's one of the programs that have reached out to partner with me as well.
Awesome. And so, like you said, there are a ton of different programs and organizations out there. I like to try to plug Collectively, which is a Black organization that kind of gives out money to the community as well as resources for those who are doing well in the community. So you don't have to be an official nonprofit.
Right.
As long as you're doing good stuff in the community, they can you can participate on the platform in the different contests. So I always suggest that any organization that is out there to go ahead and register on there, just because that's sometimes a place that people go to look for resources as well, and it's free. So I just wanted to plug that as well, because like you said, there are a ton of programs out there. And so, question from the crowd, where did you play ball, Coach Duncan? Because we know you were somewhere crossing up somebody, doing some fadeaways. Like, go ahead and let us know.
I played ball in the hood.
Somewhere at a corner near you, huh?
Yeah, I grew up in the Park Heights area playing on a creek. That's where I played. I did play in college or anything. Here's the funny thing. Here's this funny story. I actually grew up playing soccer.
Wow.
I grew up playing soccer. I'm originally was born in Trinidad and Tobago.
I was about to say, so what island are your parents from?
Yeah, well, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. So I grew up playing soccer, and I got into basketball because when my oldest son, who is now a national track star, when he was in middle school, he said, "Dad, my friends want you to coach our basketball team, but I don't want you to do it." I said, "Oh, okay," because I'm hard on my kids. I am extremely hard on my kids. So I said, "Okay, cool." So I learned basketball just to coach my kids' basketball team, and I've been coaching ever since then. That's right. That's right. That's right.
That is beautiful. One of my good friends is from Trinidad. I actually went there for Carnival a couple of years ago. And I still don't think I've recovered personally. You guys know how to party in a way that I've never experienced a fete or any of that. So that's really cool. But that is great to know. So you basically found a passion for basketball by bonding with your son and his friends and basically teach. So you've been a coach for how long now?
I've been a coach for 8 years. I've been a coach for 8 years now. Yep. Been coaching for 8 years. But, it has been so rewarding because I use it for a platform now to reach kids. And I've learned something that, you've been given such a rich platform that every child that you come in contact with, you've got to say something to impact them. There's a great quote that says, "One plant, one water, but we believe that the Almighty God gives the increase." So in some way in this, either I'm planting the seed, I'm watering the seed, but the increase is going to come. So every child that I come in contact with, I have to say something to impact them. If it's as simple as "Good morning, young king. Good morning, young queen." That's how I greet my students every single morning. And that alone can be something to impact them, to let them know that they are royalty.
Yes, and that they're heard and that they're seen. Sometimes kids are just acting out because they feel like they're invisible. And it's like, hey, you don't need to do all of that. I'm right here. I see you. I hear you. Let's engage. Don't, act out. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, and the other thing too, some of the toughest kids I've worked with over time that have given me the hardest time, they just wanted to know, was I going to be consistent?
Yeah.
You're telling me that you're going to be here for me, but the last guy that told me that left. Will
Yep.
you be consistent? So I'm gonna give you a hard time to see if you're going to leave too. And then once they see that you're going to be consistent, then they kind of just let their wall down and let you in, that you can reach them and just touch them, where you begin to see where their heart is getting softer.
Right.
Right.
Yes. And the flip side of that is sometimes they almost have to act out so that it
Right.
gives you a reason to leave, so that it's not their fault. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
even
Oh, yeah.
though it is totally their action and their behavior, they're like, no, he walked away. But it's like, well, you were kind of pushing him away, but it's building that relationship and building that trust.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. So, Dayson and so one of the questions from the crowd was, what is the difference between the schools that you've noticed between Trinity and here in Baltimore?
Several. Here's the funny thing. I moved to Baltimore. This is a funny story. I moved to Baltimore in 1989. When I left Trinidad, I think it was about 1993, I went back for the first time, and I went to my old school. And while I was there was some students in the front of the classroom with their hands like this, and they was getting whooped with a ruler. And I laughed at it, because I remember those days. You get whooped, but it was different. That was one of the things. So, and it's like your teacher was allowed to whoop you. And I mean, this was the late 80s, early 90s. Your teacher was allowed to whoop you. But here was the funny thing. You better not have let your parents find out that you got a whooping in school. Because if they found out, you got another one from mom. And then mom was telling dad. So you got about 3 whoopings before the end of the day was over. You got whooped. So it's like, whatever you did, make sure the teacher didn't call home and tell her that you got a whooping at school.
Right, because it's levels to this. It's
It's
levels.
levels. Yes.
That is
that's
so funny.
So that's one of the funny things. But the other thing is that, education is taken very serious in the islands. It is taken. Somebody said tree. That's funny. They said tree. They're getting tree at them. Not one, but tree. But the education system in the islands is taken very serious.
Yeah.
They're poured into. The parents are teaching you. It's still the village mentality, where the village is coming together to raise. And I just think that's one of the things that we have kind of allowed to slip away here. But I don't think it's gone too far, because there's still a lot of people that understand that it still takes a village, that it takes the neighbors correcting the children, saying, hey, move, don't do that. It still takes that. And that's what I feel like, as we begin to build that, we'll see a lot of change within our school as well, when we really get back to the village.
Yeah, that's one of the things we were kind of talking about on one of the shows, that the very first time you speak to your neighbor shouldn't be to say something about them parking in your parking spot, or, taking the trash out on the wrong day. It should be to say hello, just to build that relationship and build that community. You don't want to be aggressive and angry the first time you interact with anybody. Like that's a bad impression, to say the least,
Right. Definitely.
Awesome. So Lewis is back with us. Hello, Mr. Powerfest. How are you?
I've been with you guys just off camera.
Okay.
I'd like to make a comment though. I mean, I've been listening, and Coach and I have done a lot of things in Baltimore together, and one of the things, I feel like that he's a dad to other people as well. I see how they respect him, and young people out there respect him and call him a coach. And you mentioned, Coach, that when you went back to your school in the islands, they were getting beatings, I guess, or whippings or paddled by their teachers. So I'm sure I'm the oldest person on this call right now, which is, I'll wear it with pleasure. But I remember when in Baltimore City schools, a teacher could whip your tail. You put your hand out and they would put that ruler on your hands. I was in school during those days. And I'm going to ask the panel, what is your take on? I mean, I know if you're a believer of the Bible, it says spare the rod, and of course you destroy the child. You see, Baltimore has gotten out of control. I think there's no secret that Baltimore has gotten out of control. My question to you all is, do you think that, and now they call it capital punishment to make it sound so horrible, but what do you guys think about physical correction? I'll use that term, whether it be in the school or in a home, and how do you think it will affect the way Baltimore is today?
So I'll just say really quickly that I don't think any two people are the same. Physical correctness, like you can just talk sternly to me or tell me that something is hot and I don't need to touch it and I don't want to get in trouble. My siblings, however, you might have to put some hands on them before they hear you when you're talking to them. So, and I understand that. So, but globally, I don't think that teachers or anyone who doesn't love my child should be putting their hands on my child.
I can actually.
Agree.
Oh, go right ahead, Deshaun.
I was just gonna say I definitely agree. I'm the same way. You can talk sternly to me and I'll actually listen, but my siblings and some of the kids that I work with actually have a harder time conforming to maybe the stern voice as they should be, right? So they would need that. I don't think that teachers should do that. I think that teachers already have enough on their plate. They don't need to be worried about disciplining somebody's child. But parents, I do believe that there should be some level of discipline that they're able to enact upon their kids.
Yeah, I agree. I think the time for that honestly has passed. That is just my thoughts. I think it may be the parents' job to do that. But I think, again, the effectiveness that I've had and I've seen other teachers have, other coaches, especially the coaches of some of these football teams have, and they don't have to put their hand on the children, to get them to straighten up. Most of these kids in this school fear their coach or have more respect for their coach than sometimes that they have at home, that the parents that they have at home. So I just think that, and I think that dynamic has to change where the parents are respected as much as the coaches are, out here that are respected as well. But I think that for some of our kids that it doesn't take that. I think it takes a lot of love and sometimes just having conversation with them, letting them know you care can really turn their heart. So I think whatever we do, we got to first take the approach of approaching it with love.
So where do you think that high level of respect that coaches are given comes from?
Again, part of it, there's a lot of factors. There's not one, but part of it is just that male authority. That they see that male authority. You're around a woman all day. You go home. You're around a woman. You come to school. Half of your or most of your teachers are women. And women are nurturing. They have a nurturing nature about them that is more loving. That is a softer nature. So sometimes we tend to get over on that. So what I think it is with the coaches, now the boys have an authoritative figure, somebody with the bass in their voice that'll say, no, you ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna play with you. I'm not gonna give you 3 chances like your mom gave you. I'm gonna give you 1 chance to get it right. So now they kind of straighten up and realize, oh man, Coach Brooks ain't playing with me. Coach Thomas ain't playing with me. I got to get it right away. So I think that's one of the factors is the authoritative fit nature of a man's voice that they're hearing sometimes for the first time.
You know what else I think? To some degree, I find that for some reason kids are angry. Like just angry to be completely honest, I was definitely one of those kids until I realized that I shouldn't be mean. I shouldn't be as bitchy. It was one of those things like I had to kind of learn. And even as an adult, like people talk about, resting bitch face and not smiling at people. And it's like this hardness that we kind of develop, you know? And so I think with some of the kids, you kind of have to break down that hardness. Like, that's not necessary with me. You don't need to put on these airs, you know, just let's have a conversation and understand one another and kind of meet you where you're at and not try to boss up and be bigger than the next guy, you know?
I think that actually lends to another issue. The differences between maybe what a woman may be perceived as and what a man may be perceived as, because coach can speak to the men perspective of maybe why they may be acting out and doing specific things. But like you said, women or black women are often branded as mean or angry or have resting bitch face, which may be a whole separate part of this conversation.
Yeah, definitely multifaceted. Definitely multifaceted. But building up that anger and just kind of breaking it down, and like, we're all on the same side, we're all on the same community, we're all really trying to get to the same thing, and just kind of find that that likeliness that you have with your neighbor and the person that you're being introduced to or engaging with. I think if kids understand, hey, we're not so much different, you know, we both, you know, like, I don't know, Nipsey Hussle and them, whatever the case may be, we have some sort of way that we can vibe with one another and kind of meet each other on the same plateau.
Absolutely. And, you know, I was just going back to the basketball thing with you, Coach. I know you know, and I don't know if everybody's listening knows, that basketball was created by a gentleman who actually had a group of at-risk youth, and he created that sport to actually get inside of these guys' heads because they weren't opening up. And you can learn a lot about a person through sports. And basketball, of course, nowadays is not just a man sport; it's a woman and man sport. But there are some things that I think that it's Quida, like you said. You know, somebody can tell you the stove is hot, and you'll believe that it's hot. And it's three guys on here right now, and I think most of us can tell you we had to touch the stove, and you know, and it's like, oh, it's hot. So the point being is that I think through sports, a lot of young men can really be touched by a coach because they're in a situation where they can learn by process, you know, and the coach can really, it's a masculine situation sometimes where you can learn, and not taking anything from anybody else, but I believe that even me, just coming from the track right now, some of these young men that are there, you would find them in some context where they would be impossible to communicate with. But at the track, they go out there, they're arrogant, and they hit a turn and they crash, and now they're humble. And now they're like, okay, what do you want me to do? What do I need to do to straighten this out? But they had to crash first, you know, get some knees bruised up, some shoulders bruised up, and now they're humbled up. So I feel like basketball and sports are a lot like that. You have to humble the young man sometimes to have a conversation with him and to be able to guide him in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's a great dynamic. That is a great dynamic because it makes me think of like you were saying, Coach Duncan, when a father and a son are playing, and then the son finally gets to a point where he can cross up his father. You know what I mean? He's like, Dad, like, broke your ankles. Da, da, da. Like, that is one of those, you know, things that people just like to see, even though, you know, it's like the coming of the age. So, yeah, I totally get that.
Right, because I know as many times as I've played my kids, they have never won.
What?
No, my kids are not winning.
Are they your height yet? Let's talk about dynamic.
From the youngest to the oldest, I have one that's 11 and one that's 21. Neither one of them are beating me. I don't let them win just because. No. My household we're very competitive in my household, but we have fun. You know, it's just fun doing it.
That is so funny. You said no way, no how, not on my watch. Okay.
No.
They just not old enough.
I know. Yeah, that's what it is.
Soon as they get their skills together, because they're not letting you win. Soon as they get them handles together, they make little Steph Curry 3-ons.
Yeah, eventually I'll slow down and several decades from now, then maybe then.
Not several decades. Okay, Coach Duncan, I'm not doing it.
Right.
Decades.
He is
Several
definitely.
decades. It'll be a long time.
So one thing that I wanted to mention is that we do the food distribution at 2555 Harford Road at the new Lake Clifton High School every Saturday. So we do food. Say it again. Oh, the new Reach?
Reach Partnership.
What? Reach Partnership. Thank you,
It's
Jason.
Reach Partnership.
And it's at 9:45. Volunteers get there at 9:45 and cars show up at 10:30 for food box distribution. Wanted to go ahead and plug that. So, Lewis, what do we have going on coming up? What's going on with Power Fest? What else is going on?
I did before we go to Power Fest. I don't know if Coach talked about on Wednesdays. He does a food giveaway at McCullough Homes every Wednesday.
He mentioned it briefly, but go ahead and plug us with the information one more time.
Jump on that for me, Coach. Give me the information.
Yes, at McCullough Homes, close to Dolphin and McCullough Street. We also do a food giveaway there every Wednesday where we're providing them with cereal, milk, eggs, cleaning supplies, different items. And that normally begin around 4 p.m. We get there about 3:30 and start giving it out by 4 p.m. That is McCullough, close to Dolphin Street. Every Wednesday at 4 p.m.
Awesome. And so with Power Fest, I mentioned earlier, we have one of the things that we're doing is empowering queens. And basically what it is for high school student young ladies, we have a mentor program for them. And basically it's going to be a summer program that starts soon as school is out. It's going to be June the 26th. If you go to powerfestbaltimore.org and you can click on the Empowering Queens tab, you can actually register, and it's a free program. We have amazing mentors. Young lady from CNN, some other young ladies from Fox, a police captain for Baltimore City, some accountants, some it's just a plethora of women that are going to help these young ladies. The one thing that's going to be special about this Empowering Queens is that in August, they're going to have a big celebration with all the girls who are involved. And there'll actually be HR departments on the spot that can actually give jobs. There'll also be college recruiters there. And we're going to do just a big party. And one of the things I really like that we're going to teach is that we teach our young people all kinds of things about corporate America. And we want to train these young ladies for corporate America, not for nothing taken from a Walmart job, but we want to teach them about corporate America so they can make, 6 figures. But the one thing that sometimes we miss is etiquette outside of the office. I've seen so many people over the years that lose their job at a Christmas party. They've figured everything out in the office, but didn't figure that Christmas party thing out. And or the team building thing, and they do something that's crazy, and by Monday morning they're out of work. So we're going as far as teaching everything, not just the physical part of the work, but even how to react, the right way to dress. We actually have a fashion consultant that's going to be there too to help the young ladies to not. And I'm using the guys thing. We don't like to wear the cotton dockers and button down shirts. But we can dress a certain kind of way to still be classy and business professional and still show our flavor at the same time. And that's what this young lady is going to do for the girls, where they can still show their heritage and their flavor and still be, still be within the rules of their job.
That is beautiful. So what age group for the women? I'm sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Oh, the age group is it's high school students, 9th grade to 12th grade. Doesn't matter your age. If you're in high school and you're in 9th grade to 12th grade, we'd love to have you. Like I said, powerfestbaltimore.org. It's on the screen. And then click on Empowering Queens, and actually you can there's actually a tab that says register. Click on the tab. It's all automated. Click on the tab, and the actual first session is June the 6th. I think it's at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. June the 26th. And it's a every other Saturday morning Zoom call, and then the final event is in person in August.
Jason, were you gonna ask something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that was pretty cool. Particularly the part about etiquette, because I find that it's not only the corporate etiquette problem, but it's when they step out of their job, particularly with social media. They don't. A lot of young people and people my age don't necessarily know how to stay professional without staying professional. You know what I mean?
Yep. And a lot of people, especially some of the people, don't realize that social media is checked. Trust me, by your HR department. Your HR department is looking at your social media page.
Not only by jobs, but colleges and scholarships is checked by everyone.
Right. As a matter of fact, the young lady who worked for CNN, she has a saying that I treat every day as that I may run for president one day. So she makes sure that she has no things up on the internet, whatever. She says every day she gets up, she's like, I could run for president one day, so I don't want to have this residue that will pop back up. I'm like, that's a good way of thinking every day.
Yeah, it really is.
Right.
It
Even
really
if you
is.
delete it, it's not gone.
Right.
It's not gone.
Somebody could have downloaded it, saved it. It's somewhere. It's cached somewhere. Yeah.
So we do have social media etiquette,
and it'll pop
on
up
that
at the time you least suspect it.
So social media etiquette, business etiquette. Also, I would assume maybe resume writing, those kinds of things.
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, it's a list of the actual curriculum when you go to the website.
Okay.
PowerFestBaltimore.org, and then, like I said, Empowering Queens. If you scroll down, you'll see the curriculum, and you'll see what they're covering. They're even covering mental health, because you can sometimes be dealing with a whole lot of things at work, and it can affect your job performance. So they're talking about mental health as well. Even things about what's happening at home. I mean, there are women that come to work every day that are battered wives or abused, and people don't know. So they're going to be talking about that too. They're covering the whole gamut. So I mean, it's going to be great for any young lady that wants to be involved. And this one, like I said, is free. So that's a really good deal.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing that some of those conversations are starting so young.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen. And so if you don't recognize that you're being battered or you're in a bad situation, you think that's normal. So airing it out and kind of having that space to level set is really good. So
right. And
awesome. Go ahead.
I just want to say we wanted to have a proactive approach, because we were talking about doing it for young ladies who were college age. And then we started to discuss the fact that we need to be proactive, because a lot of the things or some of the issues or some of the problems have already festered in a woman's life by the time she's in college. So that's the reason why we did 9th grade to 12th grade.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, I was in high school many, many moons ago. But at that time, there were girls who were in relationships that were absolutely like domestic violence. But you're in high school and you still live with your parents and separately. Like, how is this even occurring? But it was just known. It was weird to me. So I'm glad that it's something that people are talking about on a regular basis and not kind of pushing it under the carpet. Like, don't worry about that. We'll figure it out later.
Yep.
So that is going on June 26th, 11 a.m. on Zoom. Go to powerfestbaltimore.org. It's free, empowering queens, high school age girls, right?
Correct.
Bada bing, bada boom. This is what I signed up to do. Drops mic. Let's go. All right. So one more time. So let's see. We have about 5 more minutes. So Coach Duncan, let's do a plug one more time for the Father's Day event.
Yes, ma'am. June 18th, 1201 Pennsylvania Avenue, Robert C. Marshall. Stand Mentorship, acronym Stepping Towards a New Destiny Mentorship, hosting their 4th annual Father's Day basketball game. We are looking for 500 men. 500. Last year we had 400. This year we're looking for 500. And I just sat here and I just received another message from Downtown Locker Room, another sponsor, Cashland, another sponsor. So we have so many giveaways. Everything is free. No registration, no cost to play. There's a registration, no cost to play. I'm looking forward to having fun. I'm just looking forward to just, again, bonding with my kids on that day as well, June 18th. 3 p.m., Robert C. Marshall Recreation Center.
And then for people who want to, they can come down to Dolphin and McCullough on Wednesday at 4 p.m. to get food boxes.
Yes. Yep. We're close to McCullough Homes, close to right by the light, close to Dolphin and McCullough. If it's not raining, if the weather isn't bad, we are there 4 p.m. every Wednesday. We give away a lot of different food items, cleaning supplies as well, to anybody. You don't have to live in the neighborhood. I just do a lot of community work in that neighborhood, so that's why we are there. But you don't have to live in the neighborhood to come down and get something to eat. But just feel free to just stop by at any time on Wednesday from 4 p.m.
And then, Dayson, you want to plug the Saturday food distribution?
What'd you say? It's going in and out.
What are the details for Saturday? That's why I don't want to say it. I know my connection is jacked.
Creative Influence organizes food distributions every Saturday. Cars can show up at 10:30. Volunteers can come at 9:30 so they can help take the food off the trucks and stuff. We give out fresh produce and bread. We also give out chickens and different stuff every week. So it's always something different. Every week is something different. But yeah, come and see us 10:30 every Saturday. And yeah.
Can I put a plug in for that Saturday event? So I won't be there this Saturday, but next Saturday when I'm there, every kid that's there, I challenge them to a foot race. So if you got a kid you think he fast, they better see me. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Come see me.
Okay.
Come see me.
Okay.
When we're doing the food giveaway, I do a foot race out there, all the kids. And so far, I'm undefeated.
I'm gonna find a track team for you.
Not for long.
But wait a minute. I'm talking about little kids. I'm talking about little kids. I ain't talking about no grown kids.
As a kid.
Yeah,
I'm talking about little kids.
I'm gonna find a 6-year-old that run track.
Oh yeah, I'll take the 6. I will take the 6-year-old on. That's the challenge.
You know what? All right. I'm not messing with you, Lewis, talking about you going to dust off the little 6-year-olds. I cannot. This has been awesome. So thank you guys for telling me about all the things that are going on in the community and sharing with us. We'll be back next Monday at 7 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. Did you guys want to say anything before we go ahead and sign off?
Yes, definitely. I find this a pleasure to just sit on this platform with you all, just to talk. I just love to just meet new people, to communicate and just talk and collaborate with those that are doing great things in Baltimore. So I'm just grateful, and I thank God for this platform that you host here and the opportunity to come on and talk and to meet new people again and just to talk about what's happening in Baltimore.
Coach Duncan, what was your number again?
443. Should I give this live? 443. I don't know. _Stan Mentorship. Instagram. _Stan Mentorship. Listen, if you go to Instagram, my name is Coach Duncan. Type in Coach Duncan, I will come up. _Stan Mentorship. Instagram. All right. I think that's the best way to be communicated.
Okay, whatever works for you works for us. All right, guys. Thank you, Coach Duncan. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Lewis. Power Fest, Creative Influence. What's your mentorship program? I'm sorry, Coach Duncan.
Stand Mentorship.
Stan.
Yep, Stand Mentorship. Facebook is Stand Mentorship. Instagram _Stand Mentorship.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Cool.
I think we can wrap up and we're out.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
See y'all next week.
Thank you. Good night.